Well, happy Tuesday to you all. Listen, welcome to Love and Life Lessons with Lady A. I'm your host, and I'm happy to be here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. to just drop some nuggets on you, to give you some things to think about that can literally change your life if you begin to apply them. All right, do me this huge favor I ask you to do for me every week. On the bottom of your screen, or maybe over there on the right side of your screen, all I need you to do is simply hit like, and then go ahead and share this video on your page. And once you do that, I need you to come back and tag at least 3 people. At least 3 people. Do I got to repeat myself again? I think I do. It makes no sense for you to get all this knowledge and you to grow and you not share this with your friends. And then there you are growing and then they still down here and y'all grow apart. It makes no sense. All right. So be sure to share this video on your page or take a minute and just tag them down there in the comments. Hit that like button for me. And I'm going to appreciate you. All right. So listen, you got to get that little smack. We've been on this short series. It's called Communication plus Consistency equals Commitment. That's the series I've been on. Communication plus Consistency equals Commitment. So we talked about communication. And we said that communication is an open and honest dialogue between you and 2 or 3 more people, where everybody is listening with an open heart and you're also listening with an open mind. Communication is a tool that is used to express your love, to solve conflicts, and to help protect connections. All right. So we talked about communication all last week, but in order to have a healthy relationship, we need communication. And there has to be some consistency. So tonight, we're on part 2, and we are going to discuss consistency. And what I'm going to do is I came up with 4 different, I'm going to call them definitions for lack of a better word, 4 different definitions for the word consistency, because what I want to do is I want to put it to where you can understand it so that you can apply it to your life. And also take that word and use it as a measuring stick up against some people that you know that you are closely connected to. All right. So we're going to look at a couple of definitions for the word consistency, and they all going to mean the same thing. All right. Because we want to make sure that your actions also. So we're not just pointing a finger at nobody else. We're going to make sure also that our actions are lining up with the word consistency too. We got to make sure that we're doing our part. All right. Got to do that. So here's the first one. And again, you just pick whichever one. I'm going to give 4 different ones, and you pick whichever one is going to be easiest for you to comprehend, because more importantly, I need you to get it so that you can apply it. All right? Because information without application will lead to frustration in any situation. So I'm going to make sure I made them plain and simple because I want you to understand them. All right. Talking about the word consistency. This is the first one I came up with. The ability to show up the same way over time through actions, effort, and behaviors. That's the first one. The second one, consistency. Repeated alignment between what you say and what you do that's demonstrated over time. See, they all gonna mean the same thing. I'm just wording them a little different for you. All right. Then the third one I came up with. Consistency is doing it over and over again without needing to be reminded, chased, or questioned. I'm making this thing too easy for y'all. Too easy for y'all. You can't ignore this truth right here. Here's the fourth one. Consistency. It's a reliable behavior that creates trust, safety, and emotional stability. You got that? I think I like that. That's one of my favorite ones right there. Let me repeat that one. It's a reliable behavior that creates trust, safety, and emotional stability. All right. And then for some of y'all who just want it real simple, let me just hit you with what I call a working definition. Baby, this is what consistency is. It's visible proof of a commitment. Now, I can't get no simpler than that. Now, one of them right there, you got to choose which one of them you're going to start governing your life by. Consistency is the visible proof of commitment. All right? Because if I am committed to something, I'm going to show up. I'm going to give it my all without hesitation or reservation, regardless of how I feel or regardless of the attitude of others. See, because a lot of times we will let the attitude of somebody else or the actions of somebody else mess our whole attitude up. But if I'm being committed to something, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give it my all, regardless of how I'm feeling and regardless of how the other person is acting. Because this is something I've committed to. Consistency helps you to build trust. And trust is simply built by small, repeated actions. Because anybody can do something one time. I mean, think of all the stuff you said you was going to commit to. You did it one time and ain't never did it again. So we're not putting our trust in potential. We're going to put our trust in repeated patterns. Because your repeated patterns reveal your true intentions. Oh, baby, I got my notes. I'm ready for y'all tonight. I ain't going to miss a beat, baby. I got my notes. I ain't relying on memory. I got this thing down in my spirit for y'all. Now, inconsistency creates insecurity and confusion because you start getting mixed signals, and it makes you emotional unstable is what it starts to do. One day you here, the next day you ain't here. That ain't no mystery. That's a misalignment. So inconsistency just throws our body chemistry just totally off. It'll have you questioning yourself when you ain't even a problem. It's the pattern. I don't care how much chemistry you have with somebody. Baby, I don't care how long y'all been knowing each other. I don't care nothing about. We just got chemistry. Consistency will speak louder than all the chemistry that y'all got. I don't care how well y'all get along. Baby, you looking for consistency. Because that chemistry stuff, you need consistency for any type of relationship that you ever going to be in, because consistency also reveals the person's priorities. It reveals their priority, because you know when it's something you want to do, you don't find time to do it. You make time to go do what it is you really, really want to do. And if someone shows consistency, because you got to watch out for this too in relationship, because sometimes people will start off being real consistent about things, and then you'll notice that they kind of fell off. Well, they didn't fall off from being consistent. Their level of commitment changed somewhere. Because at first they was all gung-ho and they was giving it they all, and they was there and they was doing this and this and this and that. They showing up. Then all of a sudden, they're not consistent no more. That's because their level of commitment has changed. They don't feel the same way that they felt about it in the beginning. And that's why they're not showing up no more. And that's why it's very, very important that you watch people's actions. Because communication is good. It's good we talking. But consistency is the proof. If my mom would say, baby, the proof is in the pudding. Consistency is going to be the proof. Because if we don't fall in love with words, we watch to see what a person is actually, their behavior, their action, what's being consistently repeated. Not no words. And consistency is something that you should not be begging for. You should not be begging nobody and tell nobody, I need you to be more consistent. I need you to be. You shouldn't have to beg somebody that you're in a relationship to be consistent. Because for someone who is really trying to be with you in any type of relationship, making a commitment is not going to be no problem. Making a commitment is not going to be a problem. And if you keep having to go to this person and say, I need this from you. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. It ain't that you asking too much. Y'all know the saying. You just asking it from the wrong person. Because there has to be a willingness and the ability. Because some people could be willing to do something for you, but they just ain't able. You ask me for $200. I could be willing to do that for you, but I just don't have it. Or I got the money, so I'm able to do it. I just ain't willing to do it. So they both have to go hand in hand. They're going to have to be willing and able to make that commitment to you. All right. And it's going to show in their consistency. Now, again, before you start pointing your finger at somebody else, you got to ask yourself, do I show consistency when I'm dealing with people, and we just talking about relationships, relationship with your family, your friends, a mate, your kids. We just talking about relationships. How do you show up? Are you inconsistent with your behaviors? How are you? Because that matters too. Do your actions match your expectation? Are you asking for more than it is that you're giving? All this plays a part in this. Is somebody tolerating your inconsistencies, but you want them to be consistent? Got to think about that. Consistency will always reveal the truth. It's what people do, not what they say. And it's so easy to get caught, entangled in a situation to where you're being consistent with somebody who's not ready to make a commitment, who's not ready, and no type of commitment, but you're being consistent. You there, but they not. Because consistency says, I'm going to keep showing up. That's what, because I'm going to show up. That's what consistency says. But commitment says, I'm going to honor you, I'm going to respect you, and I'm choosing this fully. I'm giving this right here, this thing we got, I'm giving this my all. That's what commitment says. And if you got somebody who keeps disrespecting you, when it comes to things you're asking them for, and they don't want to, I'm going to use the word bend. They don't want to comply. They don't want to come into an agreement with you about some things that you're constantly asking them for. You ask them to be consistent in these different areas, and they don't want to do it. Baby, listen. You shouldn't have to convince somebody to do right by you. You shouldn't have to convince somebody to treat you better than what they treat you, to treat you good. You don't have time to be trying to teach a grown individual how to treat you. Because some things, as an adult, you should know. You should know that lying to me is wrong. You see what I'm saying? You should know that cheating on me is wrong. You should know that stealing from me is wrong. Those are some things you know. I don't have time to sit you down and teach you how to show consistency to me when I've already communicated with you. Because remember, we started with communication. I've already communicated to you what I need from you. And you agreed to this. When I said, these are some things I need, is this something you can do? You said, yes, you already agreed to that. So we got the communication. So now that you've agreed to that, where's the consistency at? Where you showing me? Where you doing these things that I've asked you for? Where they at? I got to come back and remind you. We got to, every 3 months, we got to sit down like we getting a tune up on the car, or we changing the oil. What we do? I got to keep reminding you. I got to put it on the calendar to remind you. These are some things I asked you for. You don't beg nobody for consistency. That's not what you do. You don't do that. So listen, I want to look at a few things, because I hear people tell me this all the time. I just be so inconsistent with stuff. I just got to get some consistency. If I could just, so let me just help y'all. Let me help y'all. Let's look at a few things that you are consistent with. Because we do have some things that we are consistent to, some things that we are committed to doing every day. You know what I'm saying? So we do got those basic things about through our everyday living that we are consistent about. So let's just look at some of those things. Let's just look at some of them. Let's look at your everyday life. You get up, pray, brush your teeth, wash your face, probably get you some breakfast or something. Some of you have to get up and go to work. Those are things you learn to do. Brushing your teeth, you learned that at an early age. And you've been consistently doing it now. Some of you, for however old you are, 30, 40, 50, 60, however old you are, you've been consistently doing that every day. Prayerfully, brushing your teeth and washing your face. Let's just roll with those two things. You've been consistently doing that every single day, and that's something you learn to do. When it's something that you want, guess what? You'll go after it. And you'll go after it again and again until you accomplish it, or until you get it. If it's somebody that you like and that you dating or would like to date, you will consistently let that person know that you are available to them through your actions, through your words. You're going to let them know. And you will consistently do that until you conquer whatever it is you're trying to conquer. You're going to do it because that's something that you really, really, really want. You'll go out your way. I got to drive out there 2 hours just to go get this. I guess you got whatever it's going to take for you to do it. You're going to do it because that's something that you really, really want. And you ain't going to give up. So now let me ask you this. Where is that same energy when it comes to bettering ourselves? You caught that? I said ourselves. Where is that same energy at when it comes to us bettering ourselves? Us doing stuff that's really going to change our life. Where is that energy at? We'll chase after things. We'll chase after people. But where is that energy at when it comes to things that can literally better us? We'll buy some skin products and won't even use them. Won't even follow the direction and use them like the things say, use this 3 times a day, use this one 2 times a week, use this one. You won't do it because you get lazy. You'll say, I'm going to start eating better. And you'll go to the grocery store and you'll spend all that money and you get all that greenness and kale and the soy milk, coconut water. You'll go buy all that stuff. You'll come home and you'll meal prep and you'll do that for maybe 3 days. And then you just fall off because it ain't no commitment behind it. So you won't do it. You said you was going to learn to control your emotions. You was going to stop getting all revved up and going off on people. You all that. I go from 0 to 100 real quick. You was going to forget all that foolishness. You done fed yourself for years. You said you was going to, and you lie. So those are things that you said you were going to do for yourself and didn't even follow through. Didn't even follow through with them. But we saw earlier here, I pointed out to you, that you do know how to be consistent about some things. So it ain't that you don't know how to be consistent. You just don't practice consistency when it comes to things that can literally change your life. That's when you get lazy. That's when you give up. But other stuff, you'll be online trying to buy something. I know some of y'all got them Chris Brown tickets. And for him and Usher, I know some of y'all got them tickets. And when you got in the queue, it probably told you was number 189,000 people were ahead of you. You didn't log off, did you? You stayed right on there. You might have got on social media. I'm 100, but you didn't log off. You stayed with it because you wanted them tickets. How about you take that same approach towards something that can really help you, that can really change your life? See, don't tell me you don't know how to be consistent, because you do, but only when you want to. So the passion and the motivation is there, but there's a break somewhere between your communication and your consistency, because you're telling yourself that this is what you really want, but then you won't follow through with it. So if you can't keep a promise to yourself, why are you mad when somebody else breaks a promise to you? Why are you mad? When you don't even keep the promises that you make to yourself. But you want to hold somebody else accountable for something they said they was going to do. Well, they had said they was going to do that, and they didn't even do it. They didn't even come over here, and they didn't even. It's got to start with you. It got to start with you. You got to start treating you better. And when you start treating you better and holding yourself accountable, and doing the things that you said you were going to do for yourself, then you can look at somebody else. And then people will notice that, girl, she had said she was going to start going to that gym. Look at her. She's slimming down. She's been going to that gym just like she said she do. People will notice that about you. Just like they notice when you say, girl, I ain't going to never get big again. And then they notice now you done got big again. Or they know. See, people are paying attention to you. You're inconsistent. You're inconsistent. And you can't point the finger and demand it from nobody else. If you tell yourself you're going to do it, then something that you're going to do it. I don't care how you feel. Well, I wake up, I got a slight headache. Get up and do it anyway. Oh, I'm just tired of that. Get your ass up and do it anyway. At least be true to yourself. Keep your word to yourself. That's the least you can do. And please don't do this. Don't let somebody that's not on track get you off track. They just living however they want to live. They're carrying the world. They just fancy free. Hey. And here you is trying to get it together, and they call you, hey, sis, what you doing today? Come on, let's go get some brunch. No, I got to go to the gym first. I hit you when I leave the gym to see where y'all at, if I can make it up there. See, I got my priorities. I've already communicated to myself, I'm finna start going to the gym. And I'm not finna get sidetracked by nothing or nobody. I'm getting up and I'm taking my butt to this gym. All right, I went out and bought all this Neutrogena skincare. I'm finna really start getting my skin together, child. I'm gonna get myself together. I'm gonna be glowing. You got all these products. And when you get up in the morning, you know what you do? For work, y'all do this before y'all go to work too. You get right on social media, laying in that bed. You ain't got to brush your teeth, pray. You ain't said, God, thank you for waking up my eye. Open up my eye. But you grab that phone and you scroll it. And next thing you know, you just, oh shit, let me get up and get out here. I'm going to be late for work. See that time right there? You could have been using that time doing your skin products. So you got time. And you know how to be consistent. You're just wasting your time. You're just wasting the time. That's how you doing. And time wasted is time lost. All right? So now, let's look at consistency when it comes to some relationships. Let's look at consistency, the word consistency, when it comes to some relationship. Because a healthy relationship will feel safe. And it should feel safe when you're being consistent. There shouldn't be no uncertainties. Being in a relationship with people is not a guessing game. You should be for sure about your place in somebody's life, because they're going to show you that through being consistent, the same way you're going to show it to them. All right, so consistency is part of the foundation for the relationship. It's where trust is built, and you can't build trust from words, because anybody can flower up some words and make them sound good, but you're not falling for that. You're not falling for that. You're looking for consistency. Consistency shows up, it follows up, and it also takes accountability. And that's a big thing right there. It shows maturity, it shows discipline, and it shows your true intentions. We can see what you're working on by what you're doing, and you ain't never got to say a word. And it's not even about perfection. It's just all about reliability. That's all we're looking for. I can learn to trust you by knowing I can rely on you. All right? Oftentimes people fall in love with the potential of someone and not what that person is really showing them. Come on, Maya Angelou done told y'all, and people done repeated it time and time again. When people show you who they are, believe them. Come on. How do we keep overlooking that? You done heard it a million times. You done said it. How do we keep just overlooking that? We already learned that. Stop making excuses for people. All right? Because what patterns do, patterns don't lie. Patterns tell you the truth. Patterns show you the true intention of the person. So you have to pay attention to them patterns. So, I like to give scenarios. So let's just play it up against something. Let's play it consistency up against some relationship. And let me ask you this. How consistent are you when it comes to dealing with your kids? Grown kids, small kids, grandkids. How consistent are you when it comes to dealing with them? And I'm not talking about just with discipline. I'm not talking about that. Do you keep your word with them? Are you demonstrating a consistent routine before them? Because it's very dangerous, especially when you're dealing with kids in today's society. Oh, baby, you can't tell these kids nothing, because they will hop online and go look it up and run in there to show you, you wasn't telling the truth. That didn't happen like this. Baby, they good at that nowadays. So you can't play with these kids with their social media, and don't let them get on that chat GPT. They really will embarrass you. So in this day and age we living in, you got to keep your word with these kids. And you have to demonstrate a consistent routine before them, because it's dangerous when you tell a kid one thing and then they see you do something else. See, time off all that. Don't worry about what I do. Just worry about what I say. Baby, throw them words away. Mama said that to us and it was cute, and we passed it on, and kids are learning by what they see, because they're not really reading no more. They're not really reading no more. Kids are going right online. They looking for pictures. That's why they love Instagram and that Snapchat, because they very picturous nowadays. Ain't nobody taking the time to read no more. So they hearing you, but that's going in one ear, out the other ear, because they're watching what you do. And the last thing you want to do is tell a kid something and not follow through with it. Because what you're teaching that young kid to do is that they can have words, but they ain't got to have no action to back them up. And you know what that does? That sets them up. It puts them in a position because they live like that. They practice that. They will accept that behavior from other people. People tell them they're going to do stuff for them and don't even come through for them. And they'll learn to accept that. And you know, once you start accepting that, what that does to your self-worth, it lowers it. Because now people start treating you any old kind of way. So you definitely have to make sure that you have a routine, a healthy routine that you are being consistent with in front of those kids. You got to be mindful of how you govern yourself around your kids. All right. When it comes to being consistent, if you tell them you're going to do something, do it. If you tell them they can't do nothing, then they can't do it. Don't let them wear you out looking all sad. And you're like, well, look, I'm going to let you do it this time. But next time you get on that game, I'm going to take that game and throw that game out the window. You blew it. You blew it. No, you're not playing the game until I give it back to you. Don't come ask me for the game. You'll get it when I give it back. But you let them walk around there with their lips hanging all out, looking all ugly in the face, and then you give it back to them because you feeling up. And you wonder why they act the way they act. They pimping you. Them kids pimping you. All right. Consistency. Because you know I got to do the family, the friends, the mate. I got to hit everybody. So let's look at consistency in a friendship. Now here's where reliability overrides promises in a friendship. Because if you're my friend, I should be able to rely on you. Not use you, not abuse you, not take advantage of you, but I should be able to rely on you, and vice versa. A consistent friend follows through, checks in, and doesn't disappear when things get tough. See, you don't need a friend that's just only going to come around to celebrate with you. You need somebody going to be there with you when things get silent, when you're going through a struggle, and sometimes you may have to have a hard conversation with them about y'all friendship. And if me having a hard conversation with you breaks up our friendship, then there's the reality of our friendship right there. Because we should be able to come together and talk because we friends. I'm talking real friends, not nobody you just met on social media. Oh, we friends, we hanging out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a true friendship. Because it's a mutual effect. You can't be a friend by yourself. It's not an independent term. It's a dependent term. So it's going to take two of y'all to be friends. And you have to be able to depend on each other. It can't be a one-sided friendship. It can't be that. Listen, let me say this. Because one-sided consistency from one person in a friendship leads to frustration and exhaustion. Because people have to invest to make the friendship healthy. Listen, I'll never forget this. My nephew, we was leaving his funeral. And it was it was a lot of friends we went to school with. So it was an old, I can't even say friend, somebody I went to school with. And she saw me after repast and she ran over there to me. And I was talking with some more people. And she saw me. She hadn't seen me in years. And she ran up to me and she hugged me. And she called me by my nickname. She was like, oh my God, TC. Oh, you look the same. I'm so happy to see you. And the person I was talking to, she told me, she said, I'm sorry. She said, but I haven't seen her in years. And she was just really emotional. She said, I just had to come give you a hug. She said, because, see, I'm her friend. Even though she's not my friend, I'm her friend. And when she said those words to me, at the time, I heard it, and I just hugged her. And I was like, damn, that was deep. She said she was my friend, even though she knew I wasn't her friend. And it sounded hella deep at the time, but you can't be a friend independently. But I knew what she meant. She was like, she's meaning like, oh, this is my friend. I want to be there for her. I want to do this. That's what she meant. But when she said that, I was like, damn, that was deep. But we can't be friends like that because that's one-sided. That's just a one-sided friendship to where she's probably willing to do and to give and to invest. But I'm not willing to do that because you're not my friend. You're just an associate of mine. I had another scenario. Some ladies was having a talk, and she was like, "We've been friends," and the other girl said, "We're not friends." She said, "Well, we grew up together." She said, "But we're not friends." And I'm ping ponging like, huh? What the? She said, "What are my kids' names? Do you know the names of my kids?" And she was like, "No, your kids." No. She said, "Because we're not friends. So if I did something to you and you got offended because you thought I offended our friendship, we're not friends. This is just how I roll." F me up, y'all. F me up. I'm like, oh, that was a learning experience. Y'all know I'm sucking all that in like, oh. Are we friends? Or do we just know each other because we hang around each other? How much are you willing to invest into this friendship? Because we both gonna have to make an investment into this friendship. Now, here's something we often ignore in friendship. We often, and I kind of touched on it, we often ignore the reality of the friendship. Not the history, not the good time, not even the bad time. The reality of this relationship. What are we bringing to the table in this relationship? What are we being consistent about? Let's look at our patterns. Let's look at your patterns. Let's look at my patterns. Let's look at each other's patterns when we are communicating with each other, when we are spending time with each other, when we are engaging with. What are our patterns? What do I see from you? And what is it that you see from me? Because consistency will expose the reality of our friendship. Am I moody? Hot or cold? Are you moody? What type of people are we? What are we dealing with when we're talking about our friends? Are you only around when it's convenient? When you can benefit? You only come around when it's something that you need, but I can't count on you. How many times have you been there for people? But when you needed somebody to be there for you, and you go to them same people who are always calling you, and you can't count on them. Or that I just experienced this. Ask somebody to do something for me. Hey, sis, can you come by and can you such and such? Oh, okay. Never came. Never came. Hit her back. Sis, you going, never came. I ain't calling back no more. I asked you to do something. You said you were going to do it, and you never came through. And you didn't even have the decency to call me to say, sis, I thought I was going to be able to do that, but I'm not going to be able to do it. You didn't even have the decency to tell me that. But so many times, and y'all have done it too. We all guilty of this. We have let other people make their emergencies our emergency. Oh, sis, I need you to do this for me. Oh, sis, I'm trying to get through this. And we'll stop what we're doing to go run to their aid. But when it's you, who can you really count on? Who's a friend that you can really count on when you need something? Who? And again, I say this all the time, and as long as you watch me on this, you're going to hear me say it often. We're not doing a tit for tat. I do for you, you do for me. We're not trying to create a debt with nobody. You owe me because I did. We're not trying to do that. But damn, if we friends and I'm there for you, at some point, don't you think I need to be there for her? And that's why we have to establish in the beginning, is this a friendship? Are we just associates? Are we just kicking it buddies? This my homegirl? See, I'd be quick to say, well, this my homegirl, or this my this, or this my that, because we don't need no confusion. Because if I'm saying this just my homegirl, then don't, you my homegirl, then you ain't got no right calling me, ask me, can you borrow no money? Because you're not my friend. You just my homegirl. Just somebody I chat with. You see what I'm saying? So be careful and stop giving people titles so quick. Because at your age, guess what? You don't have time to be in no friendship. You don't have time to keep adjusting yourself based on somebody else's behavior. Well, child, she probably over there tripping today because she mad about. You can't keep adjusting. You can't keep guessing how this friendship is going to be based on how they may feel or based on how they may be doing. And please, please, please stop today. Please, please hear me good. Stop today. Stop overextending yourself for people just to maintain a connection. Stop doing it. Oh, I promise you your life will be so much better. Please stop doing that. Stop going out your way for people. Stop doing that. Stop doing it today. I'm talking going out your way. I'm talking overextending yourself. Stop doing that today. And if you got a true friend, they'll understand it. And don't let them do it. Sis, I got a lot to do, but I'm going to come on over there and try to help you. No, sis, no. Do what you got to do. Don't overextend yourself. Don't do that. Because that's frustrating. And it causes exhaustion in a relationship. Don't do that to your friends. Don't put all that on your friends. Don't do that. Don't do that. The friends that you got, how is that relationship? What are your patterns like? What are their patterns? What are your patterns? What's going on with that? Do you feel secure with this friendship? Is this somebody who makes you, feel safe when y'all around each other? How do they make you feel? Are you the one that's always reaching out? I've experienced that before. I have friends where I'm the one that reaches out the most. I'm always reaching out. I'm always, whatever I'm doing or going, I'm always inviting them. Then I'll kick back and I'll look sometime and I'll be like, damn, they out there, why they didn't ask me that I want to come? Or dang, they went over there, why they didn't ask me that I want to come? I'm always extending, asking people, you want to do this, you want to do an open invitation to everybody. Well, why they didn't ask me? And then one of the reasons why they don't want to ask me, because they know, and I'm going to say it like it is. Sometimes I know I don't get invites because my presence demands attention. Feel however you want to feel about it. My presence demands attention because that's how I carry myself. And I'm not saying I'm walking through the room, my head all up thinking I'm high on this and that. No, it's just my presence will be inviting to people. And I'm going to talk with people. And when that person leaves me, you know what my goal is while I'm talking to that person? It ain't about me talking about me. My goal is to make that person, when they walk away from me, I want them to feel damn good about themselves. So I'm asking them, what you into? What you doing? So you blah, 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 blah. Okay, work that. Like this, that's what I want the connection to be about. So I'm going to demand attention when I'm talking to somebody, because somebody else is going to walk up, because I'm going to be so engaging with my encouragement with them and my smiles and my laughing with them. And you going to want to come over there to see what it is I'm talking about. Because that's my goal. That's my goal. So sometimes you're not going to invite me some places because you think I'm going to outshine you. When I'm not trying to outshine you, I'm trying to help the people that's in the room. Because as I minister to them, I'm ministering to myself. I can go home and feel good about myself too. So that's just a little sidebar. Now let me get back on track. We're talking about being consistent in your friendships. All right? So think about it. People who you are friends with. Do you feel secure with that person? Is this somebody you feel safe with? Is this somebody you can tell something to? Because you can't tell stuff to everybody. Some things you need to just keep between you and God, or journal it down, or get on chat, or do. I don't know where you need to vent at, but some things you just need to keep between you and yourself. And you can have a good friend who's always there for you, but there's still just some things you need to just keep to yourself. I'm a firm believer of that. All right. Are you the one that's reaching out? Do their actions match their words? When they say they're going to do something, do they come through for you? Think about that when you're dealing with some friendships, because all that's important. All right. So we got the kids out the way. We got friends, because that goes for family too. We got them out the way. Now, let's look at consistency when it comes to your relationships. And I always like to start off first with, if it's somebody that you dating or somebody that you just met or whatever, y'all hooking up, whatever. We're looking for consistency. You have to pay close attention. Listen to me good. If it's somebody that you just met or somebody you've been dating for a little while, y'all been hooking up or whatever, you have to pay close attention, because so often we will let potential override the obvious, what it is they showing us. And we'll let the potential override what we see. And that can't be. When you meet someone and you're in the early stages of hooking up, listen to every word that come out of their mouths. Every word, every ooh, ah, you better listen to every single word that comes out of their mouth. Forget all that. You just met him and you laughing and you just giggling. Girl, he just be so funny. He just be saying stuff that bothers me too. When I be around somebody and they be freshly dating somebody, every time he say something, she just giggling. Girl, he just be so. I be like, this shit ain't even funny to me. Like, you all in Google land. You too old to be giddy like that. When you meet somebody, you better be listening to what they saying. You ain't got time for all that laughing and playing. And you better pay attention to what's going on, to what's being said. Because here is where you're going to see those red flags. See, red flags come up immediately. You just been ignoring them because you're too busy laughing and giggling. But red flags come up immediately. Red flags come up and green flags come up. Both come up. The thing about a red flag is it's going to always be red. And the danger about a green flag is a green flag can go red, but a red can't go green. So that's why you got to be paying attention to every single word that's coming out of that person's mouth. And you watching every single thing it is that they're doing. Because they may start off green as a green flag, doing everything right, saying everything right, and everything's going well. But let me tell you something, baby. Them little slip-ups, they're going to come. Because if it's a red flag really under there and they got that front on, and I think it was in 2001, I started saying they started sending their representative. Now everybody's saying, I swear they got that from me. Y'all started saying that in 2001. They send their representative in, their ambassador, and don't be the real person. So they putting on this front. That's going to only last for so long. And if you paying attention, they're going to be slipping up. They're going to be slipping up because they're going to be able to keep that front on. All right. So that's why I need you paying attention. Your assignment is to see if their words are going to match their actions. Does he just talk about he want to take you on a date or he want to do this with you? Do he talk about it or do he actually come and do it? See, talking about wanting to take you on a date and literally take you on a date, two different things. We're not interested in words. We are interested in actions. When he say he going to call you back, do he call you back? Or do he call you back the next day and say, oh, I fell asleep? I remember a guy, we were phone dating or something like that. I guess when we saw each other maybe a couple of times, but we were phone dating most of the time. And I noticed every night at about, we were talking on the phone, every night about 10:15, he'd hang up. Like clockwork. I could set my alarm. He'd hang up. Every night about 10:15. So I was like, why every night about this time does he hang up? So one night I made sure at about I'm watching the clock, about 10:12, I started trying to get into a deep conversation about something just to see if I was going to get him to override that 10:15 alarm clock that he had mentally, that he knew he had to get off the phone with. He said, oh, you know what, I'm getting sleepy, I'm at to hang up. 10:15, he gone. What was happening at 10:15? Was somebody coming through the door at 10:30? What was happening? But I was paying attention. And that was letting me know that was a red flag. Something wasn't adding up. Something was not adding up. And I wasn't going to say to him, why every night you got to get off the phone at 10:15? Because that's where transparency comes in. If it was something he wanted me to know, he'd be like, you know, every night 10:15, I'm going to hang up because I got to go get my son or I got to go do. I was paying attention, not just listening to his words, but I was also paying attention to his action. So he didn't have to explain nothing to me. He was already showing me. If somebody is seriously interested in you for having a relationship, you're going to see it through their actions because they're not going to be afraid to invest some time with you. They're not going to be afraid to spend some money with you, and they will create a safe place for you. They will create a safe place for you. You will know exactly where you stand with this person because they're going to make it obvious to you. They are showing you, hey, I'm investing my time with you because this is where I really want to be. And again, you are paying attention. Consistency shows up, y'all. Consistency is somebody showing up and they're giving you access to all of them. And they're respecting your boundaries. That's what consistency looks like coming from somebody who really wants to be with you. If you're dating for the purpose of having a serious relationship or if marriage is your goal, make sure that you yourself first are dotting every I and crossing every T. Make sure you got your shit together first. Because that's what's important. Because if you ain't got your stuff together and you raggedy, you're going to track. That's what you're going to track. Something raggedy. But if you got yourself together and something raggedy approach you already know. But when you ain't together, you start settling for any old thing. So make sure you dotting every I, crossing every T. You got yourself together. All right? Because everything doesn't fall on the guy. you got to take responsibility for some of that too. It's a dual effort when you're trying to build a relationship. So we have to communicate. We both have to show consistency if we're moving forward and trying to make a commitment. You literally have to reflect what it is you expect from people. Whatever it is I'm expecting you to do, I'm going to reflect that. I'm going to reflect that. I remember I took a guy on a date. Sidebar. Took a guy on a date. Did the food thing, had everything set up real nice, had the Uber together so we can go karaoke. We had to worry about driving and had everything taken care of. Went to this place, had breakfast and all that kind of stuff. I had everything taken care of. Everything. You know what I was doing? I am showing him this is how I like to do things. So I'm reflecting what I'm expecting back from him in hopes that he'll be like, okay, now when I take her somewhere, I got to have my shit together because she already showed me this how she rolled. See how you teach people how to treat you? It's simple. Ain't no mystery to this. Sometimes you just may have a misalignment mentally, but this ain't no mystery. You can do that. All right. So you have to reflect what you expect when you're dealing with somebody, when you're in a relationship. Now, if you're looking for a serious relationship and you're looking to be married and you communicate what your standards are, what your boundaries are, what your needs are, you're communicating all this to that person. And if what you're looking for in a relationship, because we're talking about people who you just met and people you've been dating for a little while. If what you are looking for, because you want a serious relationship and your goal is to be married, that's what you're looking for. And if you're not seeing those qualities right away, because they're not hidden. If you're not seeing that, and we've been talking, and this person don't have no kind of goals, they don't make no plans for the future, they not doing none of that kind of stuff, walk away. Walk away. And guess what? And it should be easy for you to walk away because you just met this person. So you shouldn't be having sex with them because y'all just been hooking up. Y'all just met. Sex confuses things. Sex will have you thinking that you hold a position in somebody's life and you don't hold no position with them. They haven't given you no position. Y'all just had sex. That's why you don't rush to have sex. Sex don't even need to be on the table because right now you got to be listening and you got to be watching. Your assignment is to listen to what's coming out that person's mouth and to watch what it is they're doing. And you need to see if their words and their actions are in alignment. And what are they being consistent about? What are their patterns looking like? That's what your focus has to be on right now. So if you're not seeing that, get the hell away. Get the hell away. Because now you're just wasting your time. Sex ain't nowhere on the table. You don't need to be nowhere laying up. You need to be praying up for direction. Lord, show me. Or whoever your high being is, show me. Right now, because I don't want to waste no time and I don't want to waste this person's time. Because that don't mean they're a bad person. That just means they're not the person for you. Hi, you feel me? They just not the person for you. You just want more. Because you know you deserve more. So those are some things to keep in mind. And because listen to this. Whatever you put up with, that's what you're going to end up with. And that's why I want you paying attention in the beginning. I don't want it to be no 5 or 6 years down the line and you still mad but what you put up with is what you're going to end up with. Consistency in a marriage or a long-term relationship is so, I want to make sure I say this right. It's part of the glue. You know, I say commitment is the glue that holds the relationship together. Consistency helps to seal the glue. Or should I say takes the lid off the glue. That's the setup. The communication, the consistency. Then comes the commitment to a relationship. And if you want to have a serious relationship with somebody, baby, you're going to need that. You can't override those components. You can't do that. And some of us, and I'm about to get in a little deep water right here. Some of us are in or have been in relationships where people have consistently showed us how they work and their behavior did not line up with our standards. And we seeing this, and we still chose to stay with those people. And we know this is like I need a will alignment. I need a mental alignment. I need a heart alignment, because this ain't what I want. But you stay in that situation, stayed in or may still be in that situation. And a lot of times, you know why you do that? Let me help you. Don't tell nobody. I'm just going to tell you. A lot of times you do that because you're lonely. Because you're lonely. Are you hoping that one day this person is going to change? Or they may have showed a little potential that they're going to change after you've complained 1,001 times. Now they're trying to show some potential like they're going to change. I don't want to pressure you to perform, because that's not consistency. Because now you're feeling a little pressure, so now you want to do some things. I've been telling you I want to go to the park. I like going to the park every Friday. So now you're feeling a little pressure. Now you want to start taking me to the park? No, that ain't being consistent. I don't want that kind of consistency that's under pressure. I want that kind of consistency that wants to show up for me, that wants to respect me, that wants to be held accountable, that wants to be there and show me that they love and care for me. That's the kind of consistency that I'm looking for. I'm not going to let, because this will happen. Please don't let a few good times hold you mentally hostage in an unhealthy relationship, because that will happen. And if somebody is showing you an unhealthy behavior, a lot of times they stay on point. I got to give them credit. They stay on point. Baby, they don't waver. They don't miss a beat. Their unhealthy behavior that we consider unhealthy for us, they ride that thing out. They ride that thing out. They don't switch up. That's how they are, and that's how they gonna be. It be us that fall in love with the potential, with the hopes that maybe they'll change. We get stuck in that, only to be left feeling emotionally drained, unloved, and full of regret. That's the dysfunction in us. That's the self-betrayal that we put ourselves through, and it causes us to be too weak to leave the situation. And isn't that funny? I'm too weak to leave, but I'm strong enough to stay. That's the craziest thing. Well, I was going to leave, but I just don't think I can leave. I'm too weak. So now you've empowered that weakness. Because that's all a weakness is. It's just something that you just given too much power to. So you've empowered that weakness. And then when you finally do, 10, 15 years later, then when you finally do gain your strength and you want to start utilizing your voice again about things that you don't like, and now you're trying to reinforce some boundaries that you said 10 years ago that bullied and ran all across them boundaries and paid you no attention and got no respect for you. But now you got a voice again. You woke up and now you want to reinforce all these things, and it ain't going to happen, because now every time you mention it, he don't want to hear it. And all it does is creates an argument. Because when he started doing it 10 years ago, you was too busy laughing and giggling instead of walking the hell away. And now you're stuck in this situation, because now you've been in this situation some time. You done been in this relationship 10, 15 years. And now the longevity is causing you to stay. It ain't as easy to walk away as it would have been when in the beginning, when you saw these red flags, if you'd have got your butt out of there right then and there. See, I'm not impressed when people tell me, oh, we've been married 25 years and this and that. That don't impress me. That don't mean that them 25 years, you might have been married 25 years and probably only had 2 good years out of that, because you miserable as hell. You're not getting your needs met. You're feeling lonely. So I'm not impressed when people say we've been married all this time. Oh, that's good for y'all. That don't mean nothing to me. How many times you been in a situation that wasn't healthy and you stayed in it? How many times have you done that? Some of y'all at a job right now, I bet this job 30 years and you've been hating it for 29. See, time, history, that don't have no weighing on me. That don't have no weighing on me. I'm not impressed with none of that. And you'll find yourself stuck in a situation just for longevity. And instead of you seeing patterns, you saw potential, thinking that over time that person was going to change. And then they never changed. And now y'all done had kids, y'all done got a house, y'all done did this together. You don't want to be seen without them. You're going to be embarrassed. People know y'all broke up. See, now you got all that craziness going on in your head because you chose to ignore all those red flags in the beginning. You ignored them. And it's funny with the brain, your brain will try to hold on to them few good moments that you and him did have and make you think that, oh, there's a possibility that the person can change. And that's a green flag covering up a red flag. Remember I told you about that? That's all that is. That was a green. So you might get a few moments that is good and then it's back to, because that red flag, baby, that behavior is coming. That red flag behavior is going to show up. You can only hold it in a headlock for so long. And it's going to peep its head back out. But if you start paying attention in the beginning, you can avoid it. You can avoid it. Because remember, we're trying to create healthy relationships. Not flawless relationships, but a healthy relationship. A relationship where both parties have communicated their needs and agreed to respect each other's boundaries consistently. And now everybody can feel safe. Because just you as a woman want to feel safe. Men want to feel safe too. Men need to feel that same sense of safetyness so they know they can govern their house the way they need to. And consistency helps to build the safety net for both of y'all. Consistency will either build your relationship or to expose your relationship. So tonight, ask yourself that question. Am I in something that was built from consistency, or am I stuck in something that's struggling to survive due to inconsistency? What type of relationship are you in? What you in? Because consistency in a marriage sounds good when you say it, but it hits different when it's missing. And when you are constantly adjusting and always explaining and always praying for things to change, that ain't no way to live. That ain't that happily ever after that people was talking about. That ain't what the preacher was saying and y'all live happily ever after. That ain't that. That's not that. And you know what? And this gets hard for me to talk about because, I'm an advocate for marriage. I want people to be married and forever, and I want all that. I want it. I'm an advocate for it. I tell people, don't just walk away from a relationship. First, get some counseling. First, make sure this is really what you want to do. First, talk with the person. First, make sure you're doing everything within you to make this thing work. Don't just give up so easily. So I believe in marriage. I believe in strong relationships. But I also believe in consistency, accountability, respect, and transparency. I also believe in that. And when those things are missing, you have to make a mature decision. Not based on your feelings, but based on the truth. Based on the patterns that you've been seeing in that person. It's 3 components for a healthy relationship. Communication, which is open and honest dialogue where you speak to be heard and you shut up to listen with an open mind and an open heart. And then we have consistency. It's a repeated alignment with what you say and do over time. Then commitment. It's a covenant you enter with your partner and you vow to be there for each other through sickness, when we're broke, through the bad times, through the good times, when you're getting on my nerves, when you're licking your fingers, when you're smacking your lip, when you're leaving your socks in the middle of the floor, when you leave the toilet seat up. But I made a commitment. I made a vow to stay with you. And we're going to work through all of this. We're not perfect, but we've created an environment that we both feel safe in. Commitment comes easy when we've communicated and we've both been consistent about what it is that we want. Those are the 3 components to a healthy relationship. All right, listen. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Love and Life Lessons with Lady A. Do me a favor before we sign off real quick. Take a 1, 2, 3 seconds. Hit that like button down there on the bottom. Go ahead, just tag one person before you get off. Tag one person who you think might benefit from this. And then the biggest favor of all, I need you to share it on your page. Because the more people you and I reach, the better our inner circles will be and the better our communities will be. Because that's what life is all about, just being better. So go ahead, tag one person for me, hit the like button, and then if you don't mind, share it on your page. And guess what? I'll be back next Tuesday. I'll be back right here in the same spot, waiting to drop some more nuggets on you so that we can live a better life. Good night, and thank you all so much for tuning in.